It is so funny watching these, big influencers in the space that were so anti Hedera, anti HBAR, starting to finally realize, like, oh, wow, Hedera is about to become a big player in the space. It's just so funny how things like that work out. We've been watching this happening over the last couple of weeks, even with XRP, even XLM, and a lot of these other Dino coins, essentially. And I just find it funny. So we have to definitely talk about this, but we are also going to be talking about, why I personally believe that HBAR is about to explode into the top 10 this alt season. So with that being said, welcome to the channel, everyone. My name is Nick. For those that are new to the channel, hopefully by the end of this video, you do become a subscriber. And really quick, guys, the Discord is 50% off right now. So if you guys do want to claim that, down in the description below, there's a discount code and there's a link to the Discord if you guys do want to claim that. So with that, let's dive on in. So Coin Bureau, this is an individual that, if we go all the way back to 2021's cycle, he was one that was anti-Hedera. He pushed Phantom forward, which, by the way, for those that actually don't know, there was a lot of drama around 2021, basically Phantom copying Hedera's tech, stealing it essentially. And again, this is an individual that was really kind of anti-Hedera, anti-HBAR, didn't care about Hedera, didn't care about HBAR. And I find it very interesting that now a lot of these big players cannot stop talking about Hedera because of what's happening. For an example, we have, thank you, and this is from the HBAR Foundation, Coin Bureau, for covering the Canary Fund's HBAR ETF filing and the RWA tokenization of Aberdeen's flagship fund on the Hedera network. And check this out, it's 43 seconds long.
Then there was also an ETF filing by Canary Capital, same ones who filed the Ripple ones or XRP ones.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, there's excitement happening. I mean, obviously, HBAR also, because it has this got different, structure in terms of not a blockchain. It's a hash graph. It's more like a DAG structure, way more performant in terms of that's what the proponents say of it. And there's also increasing partnerships they've been doing. They did one recently, increasing the membership council, the governing council of Hedera, with all these enterprises, and one of them was Aberdeen, which leveraging their DLT technology for tokenized real world assets. Obviously, the RWA narrative is big. So then there was also
And it's just so funny when they start to find this information that we've been talking about for so long. This is exactly why I've always said that Hedera and HBAR are going to be absolutely massive players, because once everyone starts to realize how adopted the network actually is, how much is going on the network, and the players that are behind the network as well, all of a sudden they realize, like, all right, this is going to be a massive winner. This is going to be a big player. And by that point, I feel as though it's just going to be too late. I feel like it's going to be too late. This is why I've always said, don't listen to a lot of the noise out there. There is definitely a lot of pros and cons to almost every single network in this space. I could, handpick any project in the top 100 and say, hey, these are the pros, these are the cons. When it comes to Hedera, there definitely is some cons, but the pros quickly, outweigh the cons. I just don't see how HBAR doesn't blast into the top 10 this season. And the reason why I say that is because of all the adoption. Let's start off with Karate Combat, okay? They are built out on Hedera, and this is recent, November 21st. This is the unique players on Karate Combat. Kickback 3 metrics are in, and we've smashed records. 138,000 unique players joined the action this time, more than doubling the 62,000 from Kickback 2. User growth continues to thrive, powered by our seamless native mobile apps built on Hedera. These applications like Karate Combat are accelerating mass adoption of this technology, and I love the fact that this is on Hedera. If this was on Ethereum, if this was on, a network that was far more, inefficient than Hedera, I don't think that the adoption would be this significant. You got to remember, transacting on Hedera is night and day. It is a completely different experience versus, Ethereum versus Bitcoin versus Solana versus pretty much any network out there. But it's not just, growth on a lot of these apps. We are also seeing growth across the board. Hashport, which is the interoperability solution based around Hedera. Very exciting to see massive spikes in volume across Hashport over the past week. as the market starts to realize the immense power Hedera holds for RWA's AI and sustainability. And we could actually see week over week volume bridged 2,500%. As always, Hashport is here ready to help users quickly and securely access the network by leveraging Hedera's consensus service. I mean, this is very exciting stuff. I mean, I'm telling you guys, it's just growth across the board from users on some of these dApps to, just the users in general on interoperability solutions like Hashport, but then also DeFi. Guys, DeFi on Hedera has been smashing records. This got posted by RoboPeep. We have breaking news. Volume on SushiSwap Labs hits new weekly all-time high of $97 million. And even from SushiSwap themselves, new weekly volume record. SushiSwap has processed over $132 million in trading volume this week alone, and the weekly candle hasn't even closed yet. For perspective, we've executed more than 400,000 trades on the Hedera network this week, averaging nearly 1 per second. Guys, DeFi on Hedera is going insane. And these are all metrics that matter when we talk about, if a project is going to be in the top 10 or not. As adoption just continues to grow and grow and grow and grow, and network usage continues to grow and grow and grow, and revenue on the network also continues to grow and grow and grow, the underlying asset continues to grow in value. And this is where we could start to see Hedera quickly moving up the ranks into the top 10. Even right now, as we do look at SushiSwap, obviously it's a new week, $132,809,618 in terms of weekly volume. That is just crazy to me. And right now, to start the week, we are already over $36.2 million. And also, just take a quick look at TVL. I mean, yes, it's not as significant as the March of this year highs at around roughly like almost $156 million. But, this quickly dropped down to about 37.6 million. And it has quickly skyrocketed over 90 million, sitting at about 82.3 million right now. I do think that TVL and volume on SushiSwap is about to explode in a very large way. You guys got to remember that what we have witnessed around the space recently with a lot of these altcoin movements, that was just people getting in. That's the smart money moving in to prepare for the next big move in the market. So alt season hasn't officially began. The big retail crowd has yet to actually hit the space. Just imagine what's going to happen over the next couple weeks. I mean, it is going to be a very exciting ride for Hedera. And talking more so about this, I also want to just quickly show you guys the overall TVL chart here, because I know that SushiSwap is not, close to its TVL here, but the TVL across the network is actually getting very close to its March highs. We're sitting at about 172, almost $173 million. Bonzo Finance quickly hitting almost 12 million here. Stater sitting at about 63.5 million. And across the board, we're starting to see some growth here in the last 1 month. I mean, the last 1 month gains here, Stater up 180%. HeliSwap up 135%. HBAR Suit up 111%. Pangolin up 101%. I mean, guys, the growth here is very exciting around the DeFi ecosystem on Hedera. But also, I want to show you guys real quick something very interesting, which is the overall volume. Look at the volume spikes here. I mean, on November 17th, we had well over almost $5 million in terms of volume. Now, yes, this has quickly, come down a bit, but we're still sitting at well over $13 million. Even right now, if we're actually looking at the 24-hour volume, we're sitting at about roughly $13.5 million almost. The 7-day volume sitting over $154 million. Guys, there's been a lot of growth happening on Hedera, and I think that the weekly change here also should provide you guys that insight with almost 140% of a weekly change in volume. That is absolutely crazy to me. This is the most exciting I ever saw, DeFi on Hedera be, and I'm very excited about that. And also, HBAR volume Guys, in terms of HBAR volume, on the 17th and the 18th, guys, this was over $3 billion worth of HBAR volume. And even right now, it's almost close to a billion. Very exciting stuff. Now, one thing that I've always been keeping a close eye out on is also, the stablecoin growth. Stablecoin growth on Hedera sitting at about roughly $15 million. If we're comparing it to, previous highs, it's pretty much right there stable, which is pretty good. Very exciting stuff for the stablecoin market, but also core developers. Core developers definitely up significantly still. This is, a very big wave for Hedera. I mean, everything is looking very solid here. Even the commits still really kind of stable here, nothing too crazy. But there's a lot of building happening on Hedera. Now, to wrap up this video, I want to play a clip here because, it's just not me that's seeing how big Hedera will be. Even the GC members like BitGo and Dell are discussing the importance of fixed fees on Hedera and how, large scale enterprise use cases will thrive on Hedera because of the efficiencies compared to these other networks. Again, all of this is just more and more information to support the fact that Hedera and HBAR are going to be absolute big players in the space. I just don't see how HBAR doesn't become a top 10 giant, but check this out.
Or to underscore something Greg said, is the fees for HBAR denominated in dollars. I'm going to repeat that: denominated dollars and fixed. So if any of you have tried to transact on Ethereum or Bitcoin, you know that the transaction fees or the gas fees can vary wildly based on network congestion. If you're running a business or you're running a high throughput, high transaction service, that's really difficult to deal with. You don't know how much your business is going to cost you to run day by day. So one of the unique things about Hedera that we're seeing being adopted by use cases like stablecoins or CDBCs that are going to be high throughput is being powered or enabled by the fact that your transaction costs are fixed and they're low.
And that is certainly a characteristic of the governance model and the decisions that were put forth for Hedera that differentiates itself from many other public blockchains, because to the extent that gas fees increase 900%, which they have on other networks, outside of the control of an individual organization, because maybe there's a meme coin craze or an NFT drop, that creates the network that makes the network effectively unoperable for a specific use case at any given point in time.
Yeah, I mean, as a longtime product manager and GM of various products, variable costs like that become the bane of your business case. And, a lot of times enterprise or use cases that may come, to the forefront for enterprises may even mask the cryptocurrency aspect of the service. It's transparent to the end customer, maybe a SaaS service. But from a product build perspective, that variability and thinking about how many dollars to put aside to pay your tariffs, basically at the end is a highly challenging issue. So when we looked at why we wanted to, when we joined Hedera, it's because we saw them as more of a enterprise oriented sort of, you could build products on type protocol. And the variability, is put aside. The transaction rate growth was meant to be high. It starts to become more of a, dependable service. And so that's what I mean when we talk about getting boring. It can be predictable, not, highly variable.
And I think the enterprise.
And this is exactly what's happening around Hedera right now. A lot of people are just not, paying attention to the boring side of things, but that boring side of things is what's going to lead to the holders getting very excited because of the overall amount of adoption and volume that will be pushed on these networks once we see these large scale enterprise use cases actually kicking up and, the flip switching on, because that's going to be the most exciting time in the space when utility actually is going to be the driver of value. And that's when these networks like Hedera start to become the leaders in the space. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys definitely will like, subscribe, turn notifications on for more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.